Okay, so we've marked and subclipped our sound bites. I have the sound bites subclipped here in the subclips bin within the 4.3 bin. And this contains most of the material that we're going to need in order to build our promo. I'm going to switch over to the editing workspace so that I have both a source and a program monitor, which can help out. But I want to make sure I see all of my clips here. And I'm actually going to expand this by pressing tilde so we can talk a little bit about what's going on in each of these clips. All right, so first of all, we're going to have Jack set us up. And we want to talk about the three things that Topa Topa is built on: craftsmanship, quality, and community spirit. And then we're going to go into each of these elements. We're first going to talk about the craftsmanship, and then here we'll bring in Casey, who talks about his craftsmanship or how he loves making beer. Then we'll talk about the quality, and Jack here talks about how he pays more for quality ingredients, and also Casey talks about quality as well. And then we have community, and we have several clips that address that as well. We talk about the team, we talk about the community spirit. So we have all of these things that are going to tell our story, but we need to get them in the right order. So let's go ahead and load this one first because he sort of sets up the entire narrative. So I'll double click and load that in. And again, I'll play this for you so it can remind you what exactly he says.
Craftsmanship, quality, and community spirit is a big part of who we are. And our mission statement reads really those three words. And that underlies everything that we do.
All right. So normally we might have a much longer clip and then set our in and out points and find these moments and bring them down. But we've already done the work in subclipping, so I'm just going to bring this whole thing down. And then later on, we'll probably remove some of the stuff that he says here in the middle to make this a little bit punchier. But right now, we're just laying out the skeleton. All right, so we know that one way to create a sequence is to simply drag and drop, and Premiere Pro will create a sequence based on the characteristics of this clip. So that's what I'm going to do, drag and drop, and several things have happened. We've got a clip in the sequence, and we have a sequence over here in the project panel. So let me name that right away. I'm just going to call this Topa Topa Rough Cut, and I have a sequences bin that I'm going to put this in, all right, in my 4.3 bin. And I'll minimize, and let's head back to the sequence. Now, once the sequence is set up, you can continue editing by dragging and dropping, which is okay, or you can use the keyboard, which is even better. It'll make you a faster and more efficient editor for sure. All right, so what are we talking about first? We're talking about craftsmanship. So let's go back to our subclips, and I'll make this a little bit bigger so that we can see everything. And I believe we need to move to this soundbite of Casey talking about what it takes to make beer. I'll go ahead and load that and play the first little bit of this so you can hear what he's saying.
So I always tell people that if you want to become a brewer, you have to be obsessed with beer and love it. It takes a special individual to be in a brewery where it's almost 100 degrees and you got steam in your face, it's wet. It's really not a glamorous job of what people think. It's dirty, it's sticky, it's hot. But at the end of the day, you know, you can sit down and you can taste the beverage that you create. And
all right, so we're bringing that in next. There's a little bit of a blip at the end of that, but we'll fix that later through trimming. So I'm going to take this entire clip and bring it down. And I want to show you how to do this with the keyboard, okay? First, you need to make sure that your playhead is at the location that you want to edit it. And so you can use your up and down arrow keys to help you out there. If I press the up arrow, it goes backwards. If I press the down arrow, it goes forwards. Another way that you can snap the playhead to a specific edit point is to shift drag. You can see that that magnetizes to that edit. But anyway, we're going to bring this down using the insert edit, and it's this on-screen command here or the comma key. Okay, so I'm just going to press comma, and it gets brought down, and I can press backslash to fit them both within the timeline view. Now, before I move on, I want to talk a little bit about track targeting. As you can see, both video and audio were brought down. That's because I have both video and audio targeted. If I had just video or just audio, then just those elements would be brought down to the timeline. So for example, I'll turn off audio and then press comma, and you can see that just my video gets brought down. Let me delete that. And now I'll just enable audio, and then just my audio will be brought down and my video will be ignored. So I'll press comma, okay? All right, so track targeting is important, and you always need to be aware of it. By the way, the drag and drop equivalent of that are these commands right here. So if I just want to bring down my video, I just grab onto this video film strip and just my video is brought down. If I just want to bring down audio, I grab onto this audio waveform and just my audio is brought down. All right, with all that said, let's move on. I'm going to just play over this edit to see how one flows into the next.
Reads really those three words, and that underlies everything that we do.
So I always tell people that if you want to become a brewer, you have to be obsessed with beer and love it.
All right, so I think that's okay, but I actually forgot one of the clips that I was going to use to bridge Jack's intro into Casey talking about the craftsmanship of his work. And it's this one right here, Jack Craftsmanship, Casey Cares. I'm going to just load that so that we can listen.
The craftsmanship, we have Casey and his team who care meticulously about the beer.
I think I will set an out point there just to clean that up a little bit.
Beer.
Okay, and now I want to bring that in between this shot and this one. And there's a couple ways that I can do this. I can, of course, do this with the keyboard. So I'm going to press the up arrow and make sure that I'm right in between these two shots. And then it's a simple insert edit. I'll press the comma key. Okay, and now we've inserted that shot and everything's made room for it.
Everything that we do. The craftsmanship, we have Casey and his team who care meticulously about the beer.
So I always tell people that if you...
All right, so I think that works well. Let me undo that, Command Z or Control Z. I want to show you how you do that by dragging and dropping. Just Command drag or Control drag on a PC, and you can see these white triangles, and that's telling me that I am performing an insert edit. Okay, I'm going to release, and now I've inserted the shot in between these shots. All right, so that's easy enough. I'm just going to press my down arrow to get to the end of the sequence. And what's up next? We have quality. So let's move to Casey talking about the quality. I'll load this, and I'm going to play the first little bit of this for you. It is 21 seconds long, so I won't play the whole thing, but let's get a sense of what Casey's saying.
I think first and foremost is just quality. There's a lot of breweries out there preaching, quality first and using high quality ingredients. And I think we really, really do that well here.
All right, so he's very passionate about the quality. I like that. Next, let's go ahead and edit that in. I'll press comma. And then, I realize once again, I've skipped Jack talking about quality, which I think I want him to set Casey up. Let's take a listen to this.
Quality, we source the highest quality ingredients we can. We're not afraid to pay a little bit more for higher quality product or ingredients to put into our product.
And yes, I think I do want that to come right before Casey, so no problem. I'm just going to press my up arrow and comma, and we've made an insert edit. All right, so as you can see, we're able to build our sequence relatively quickly using these insert edits, all right? Just one thing, I'm going to undo that, Command Z. If you try to eyeball it and you just think that you have it right in between two clips, but you don't quite, this can result in what are called flash frames. So I'm going to re-edit this in. I'll press comma. And these are very common among beginning editors. But you have these just tiny, tiny slivers of video, and when you play it,
beverage that you create and
doesn't look too good at all, okay? So you really do want to make sure that you are able to get right in between the clips and then perform your insert edits appropriately. All right, so laying clips in is the first step. You should definitely go through the rest of the clips and finish laying in this sequence. I do have a version of the sequence right here where I've already done this, so you can feel free to check that out. But once you've edited them in, it's time to start moving and tweaking and adding to it, and we'll continue to do that in the next few movies.